Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jim here, Hilltop Hiker. I was tagged by Anthony, the ultralight backpacker, to do this 5 things you didn't know about me video. So here it is. The first thing that you didn't know about me: I work for an antique auction. I've been working there about 21 years. It's a small company in Redlands, and there's literally 4 employees, including myself. It's a really cool job. Basically, what I do there primarily is furniture restoration. If we get a piece of furniture that comes in and it's broken or it needs refinishing or anything like that, that's my primary job. And then, of course, being in a small company, I do a lot of other things. I go out on pickups to pick things up for the auction. I load trucks, I unload trucks. A lot of it's hard, heavy manual labor moving furniture, but I gotta say it keeps me in shape and it keeps me strong. I just turned 50 and I'm still able to do pretty much everything I want to do. So I think it's a benefit in that respect. It's a cool place to work because you get to see a lot of the things that we used to have in our country, the old furniture, the old pottery and artwork and jewelry and all these different things that you typically don't see in your day-to-day life, or you certainly aren't going to see if you're at Walmart or IKEA or anything like that. So that's a pretty cool thing. This year we sold a 4-panel Chinese dressing screen for $200,000. That was really exciting. We weren't expecting that, and it was just a couple of people from China bidding online. So that was really amazing to us because that's like something that's never happened before. It was definitely the highest item we ever sold. And I've also seen some really weird things come through our auction. We've sold human skulls that were used for medical research. We once sold a petrified walrus penis. Yes, that is a thing. And I think if I remember right, it actually brought about $3,000. So keep your eye out for petrified walrus penises. So that's what I do for a living. It's a cool job and I really like it. So the second thing that you don't know about me: when I was in high school, I used to be really into spelunking, or exploring caves. And if you've ever been to the Providence Mountains, you may have heard of Mitchell Caverns. You may have been in Mitchell Caverns. I think Jason from Huck Outdoors actually did a video there. I believe it was him. I've never been in that cave, but there is another cave system in the Providence Mountains which is restricted. It has the entrance has been filled in with concrete, and there's a gate with a lock, and to get into that cave you have to go through the Park Service and show them your equipment and show them that you're competent. Now, this was back in the early to mid 80s, and unfortunately I think pretty much all the caves that I used to go into are now closed strictly for research purposes only. They don't allow sport caving. There's also a lot of caves in the Sequoia National Park. That's where I did the majority of the caving that I did. I gotta work on that thing. But anyways, I pretty much did this with my dad and my sister and some of my dad's friends. So it was really exciting. I mean, we like brought ropes, and we had to rappel down deep pits, and there was places where there was big underground rooms that were 100 feet long, 60 feet wide, 60 feet tall, and then the cave would narrow down to this torturous crawl where you were on your belly and you had your packs tied to your feet and you were dragging those behind your feet. There's a couple of caves in this Koi National Park. There's one called, well, there's actually a lot of them, but a couple that I went into. One is called Lost Soldiers Cave, and that's located in the southern part of the park, very close to where I was when I did my Garfield Grove video. The trail I was on literally went right past the entrance to that cave. And that was all these caves that I went in were wild caves, which means that they were all restricted access. You had to go through the Park Service to gain access, and you had to show them that you had the equipment and the competence to get in and out of these things without killing yourself. So, yeah, when I was in high school, that was something I did with my family, and it was really fun. It was really exciting, and the things that you see underground are just so amazing. It's not like going into a mine where you're just basically walking through a tunnel in the rock. These caves have formations, stalactites, stalagmites, just beautiful formations that just are so just like out of this world kind of stuff. So if you've ever been in a cave, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's something I did when I was in high school, and I had a good time doing it, and that's number 2. So moving on to number 3, something you didn't know about me. Not only do I love hiking in the mountains and backpacking in the mountains, but I actually live in the mountains. I live in Running Springs, which is located kind of halfway between Big Bear Lake and Lake Arrowhead, where the Highway 330 and Highway 18 meet together. So I've lived up here in Running Springs for the last 5 years. I just bought a house up here, so I'm really excited about that. It's beautiful up here. It's a lot cooler, as you could imagine, than being down in the valley. And so yeah, I live in the mountains. I love living in the mountains. You actually get to like see the seasons change up here. We got a ton of snow this last winter. It was super cool. So yeah, it's really cool. Of course, like anything, there's the good and the bad, and of course the bad up here is fires and living with that threat basically all the time. Even in the winter time, it's still, fires are now happening in the winter. So it's something that comes with the territory, and so I have to think about that and be prepared for that. But it's a really cool place to live. I really like living up here. So that's number 3. Number 4. Like a couple of other people have expressed in their videos, I don't sleep when I'm backpacking. And like Anthony said in his video, I've tried pretty much everything, the melatonin, the sleep aids, earplugs. I always wear earplugs. I'm a super light sleeper, and I really don't even understand why it's so hard for me to sleep, but it is. And I typically get maybe 1 or 2 hours of sleep, maybe, and usually I tend to fall asleep like right when the sun's coming up, which is not very good. So yeah, I have a hard time sleeping in the woods. So that's number 4. Number 5, I am an avid rug collector. I know that sounds funny, but I collect antique handmade rugs, and you can see behind me on my wall, I've got a few hung up on the wall. I have rugs in every room of my house. I just think they're really cool. The way they're made, the way they harvest the wool, and they spin it, and they set up the loom, and all the countless hours they spend tying each one of those knots. I mean, it's just incredible the amount of work that goes into a real handmade rug. I'm not talking about stuff you get at IKEA, I'm talking about rugs that came from Persia or Turkey or southern Russia in the Caucasus region. Okay, so for the last part of this video, I'm going to be picking 3 other YouTubers that I'd like to know more about. The first person I'm picking is Charlie Gabaldon. Gabaldon? I'm probably saying that wrong. I'd like to know a little bit more about you. My second pick is Justin-Rockhoundhiker. I think your off-trail hikes and the things that you do are just insane. I like the off-trail hiking too, but you really take it to the next level. So yeah, I'd like to know a few things about you as well. And my last pick, and certainly not least, is Mark, Adventures with Jane. I just recently stumbled across your channel, and I think it's very interesting, and I think you're a real interesting, cool person, and I would like to know more about you as well. So those are my 3 picks. I'm going to apologize right now if you've already been picked for this, and if you don't want to do it, you're certainly under no obligation. So those are my picks, and that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.